from where we sit is gorgeous, even if we don't fit inside your little portrait. The big picture is enormous, so we don't even have to fit. We after it, true purpose, yeah, we have to get. We mastered it, reporting it live from Black Pew, discussing politics, the culture, and laughing at you. Cause you don't understand the viewpoint, don't mean you up by a few points. You just ain't hip to these new joints we on. The world says to follow they pitch, we set the tone, then we knock it over the fence. Oh yes, it's gone. Them haters screaming loud from the bench. They get the bat and try to copy technique, but they miss the point that I mentioned earlier. I see that you observing the way I strangle this beat. Oh yeah, I'm a murderer. Enough of me, let's get back to this gorgeous view. I hope that you enjoyed the show. Welcome to the Black Pew.
What was going on? Like, they couldn't get past the sound, so I was like, all right, let's see. So I started getting into like Marvin Sapp and start putting Marvin Sapp in my routine. You know, like people like that.
So no gospel gangsters.
Smokey Norfolk.
I see. That's the thing. Like, yeah, that was gonna turn them away. The gospel gangsters.
yeah.
Even if they could have just been quoting Bible verses in their songs. Like, they could have just talked straight from the Bible and had the beat, and the churches would have been like,
Yeah, any beat was too much for them.
But that's what's wrong with the older church folks is they're too scripture based.
True.
And so they get so scripture based that they don't know how to live out the lifestyle. And so it's like,
we was doing all we could to stay in the church. Like, hold up, we clinging to stuff that sound like us. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and well, I get it because everybody wants hope, but I think hope comes in steps, and I believe their generation was the step towards our generation to kind of like be able to live it. You see more people trying to live it now than,
yeah, that's true.
than live inside of a book, because the book kind of keeps you in a box. You start to spend most of your time like studying this book and not thinking on how to implement it into your life. And so
exactly, that's the difference.
But they wasn't using the harps and stuff though.
Oh,
I'm,
clowning.
I ain't messing with you.
Ain't nobody.
that'd be crazy. Praise and
David
worship.
was the clown. He was the mad clown on the harp. If anything, he's the OG harpist. But other than that,
you get somebody doing the harp, like break out the harp in the middle of a service. You be like, what?
What just happened?
We here live.
busy with it. Getting funk. What if you see somebody doing the harp like old girl used to do the violin? You remember the white chick used to do the violin? She do all that.
She was
what if you see
filthy with
somebody bust up the harp and just start busting like
with
that?
a mini harp?
Like,
That'd be
what?
cold.
Yeah, what, right?
At
a church service.
I think that's one of the few instruments you can't electronically do because you need the resonance of the bow. You need all that. And it's too much for you to make they can't miniaturize it. Like, you could do a small guitar.
You saying that?
You saying that?
That's exactly. Yeah. You saying that right there is just enough for them to figure out how for somebody to be on there busting. Somebody right now is like raising the kids like, you finna be filthy on this harp. I'm gonna tell you right now, you finna be filthy on this harp. Don't nobody do it like you do it. You finna be the coldest muck to do this harp thing, and then next thing you know, 20 years from now, you're gonna be watching America's Got Talent. It's gonna be whoop, 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 and they'll be busting doing ludicrous move. Just get out the way. And you're like, damn, on the harp.
On the harp.
Filthy with it.
Black Pew podcast. We are live. Of course, we're waiting for the light skin
man down, hand down.
waiting on the light skinned person. She always late. But we got two guests.
I thought it would be me. Come on,
we said 3:30. You feel me?
I know, right? She's probably gonna text it like 5 o'clock. Oh, I thought we were at 5 o'clock.
Oh, y'all said 3:30.
No, I mean for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
4:40.
But I want y'all to introduce yourselves to the audience. You go first.
I'm Tana, Miss Tutu Fancy. Y'all know me. Stop playing.
And who else we got on there?
Yeah, you got Daryl Dominic. I am a hip-hop artist. I also run a podcast that talks about finance, investing, and such. Try to build wealth, generational wealth, and such like that. So
dope.
That's dope.
That is dope.
Yeah, that is. And we got a lot of topics to go to today. I know everybody seen the Dave Chappelle special.
I just finished it today.
20 times.
Yes, I
Like
watched
20
it.
times. The
night.
best thing I ever seen. It was a work of art.
It was good.
love it.
Once I finished it, I was like, "This is it."
It was
And
clever.
so let's go back, to our first episode, maybe our second episode, and what did I say? Dave Chappelle's the GOAT, and everybody was like, "No, you're tripping! Oh my God!" I was like, "This man is the GOAT, okay?" Because when he speaks, everybody listens, and he has that voice. He's going, he shakes everybody's core foundation. Dave Chappelle's the GOAT. I'm sorry.
I disagreed back in the day. That's just me because, I grew up on Martin, and it was just every joke hit you. Dave Chappelle is literally in his own mind with his jokes, which is cool for me now because now I get it.
Exactly. I was about to say, because Martin is in a box.
Yep.
Martin is black community.
Yeah.
You realize, I'm not going to say he's not a great comic. Amazing comic.
Yes, I was
great
saying,
at what he does.
But throw the mic down.
But Dave Chappelle transcends race, gender,
Yes, he does.
everything. And so that's what makes him the GOAT. Richard Pryor did that. Like, Richard Pryor wasn't just a black comic. We in a black community, we highly revered him, but everybody loved him because of how he structured his art. It was art. He painted a picture for you, and Dave Chappelle's the best at doing that. There's nobody close to doing what he does. Nobody.
He's clever too. Just
Yeah.
how
I'll
he
have to
crafts
agree.
his lines, the punch lines, to like how he words things and everything. He's super intelligent. He'll talk hella proper and be like and say a hella good joke.
Yes. Let me tell you what's funny, and this is what I don't get about the backlash. Is that he said nigger, he said bitch. Mm-hmm. He said all this language in there, and all the controversy comes from what he said about gay people.
Right.
Yet nobody is saying, all this other language is just all the language that he's using is bad. It's like, no,
Just
what?
that one.
Bitch was cool. Nigga was even cool.
Yeah,
but But what he said about transgender people and gay people was just out of
Disrespectful,
line.
right.
And it's like, you know what? Guess what? Everybody, I'm not even gonna say that because I don't want to get in trouble.
I'm sure they laughed at the skit when he was the blind KKK.
Of
Of
course.
course.
Right.
That was funny. Of course.
And I think that's the thing. Like, if you take what you're saying is true, because it's like it should have been like if you guys were going to be outraged, like if you're going to start somewhere, start at that, and then be like, I wish he didn't use the. If they would have been like, hey, he shouldn't be using the N-word that much, or yada 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 yada. Then like, okay, now you guys are starting to now we can see that you're paying attention to more than one thing. But if all you focused on was his jokes to a community, and the part of it is that he joked about every community.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
He joked about every community, and it wasn't that he was focusing on them. It just is a part of his show was talking about and he used his personal experience in the jokes. Someone who he knew in the jokes, and it's like, oh, like we don't like that, or whatever. Like, wait, hold on.
I want to send this just out, and if anybody from the transgender community ever hears this, I want you to know how shitty it is for somebody to be just like you, to be outcasted by you, kill themselves, and you still be outraged about. That's disgusting.
Yeah, and you be
and for you to feel like you have a leg to stand on in any is ridiculous. It's stupid. I couldn't believe that when I heard that people were outraged. I said they didn't watch the special.
They couldn't.
They didn't watch it. You could not have watched this and came out and said and been outraged.
Yeah,
there's no way.
You can't. Then you can't be like, well, we're outraged by the jokes because they cause harm. It's like, wait, you. In the scenario, you guys caused the harm to someone in your own community because they didn't go along with you.
Well, they was trying to side with BLM and Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh yeah, our groups is together. And then when you get a black male speaking his mind, then Black lives don't matter again.
Yeah.
Well, what he was trying to say was none of this really mattered until white people got involved. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Gay people have been around forever. Transgenders been around forever.
Days of Rome, everything.
Cross-dressers, all that. But how many times were they being victimized, brutalized, beat up, disappearing, dying, all that? Nobody was saying a word.
Well,
But white people get into the movement and it progresses automatically. You look at feminism, he touched on that.
He did.
Susan B. Anthony. But Sir Joyner Truth, no, check this out. You can't say that. You black women. They're going to get confused. Because, see, we women, but you a slave. You feel me? That's the mentality that they're going to have.
Even if you're free, you're
exactly.
Yeah.
Their mentality is you ain't equal to us.
So
women's rights don't fit you right now. And so that's the thing. Like it only benefits them when they're involved. If they're not involved, it doesn't look at black issues. We're talking about going on 500 years. And look at the progression, how slow roasted the progression has been because they're not involved. When they get involved and when they're starting to get beat at these protests and getting hosed down, if the dogs was getting sicked on them and all that, I guarantee you black rights would be at a whole different level in this country than it is now.
Let me drop the mic real quick. Let me drop the mic though.
Okay.
So what about Julius Caesar, Alexander the Great, who were both homosexual, and how much they oppressed people? What if they were part of the LGBTQ movement? You know what I'm saying? Like they were oppressing everybody, and they were sleeping with young boys, they were sleeping with men, everything. So like,
drop the mic even more.
Go
what
ahead.
About the people who left Europe and came to America to start a new country? All those people weren't just criminals, Those people were homosexuals that were outcasted from their communities in other places, men sleeping with men and other things that were not acceptable, which is why to this day in America, you have people who are fleeing from other countries who live that lifestyle to come here because it is more acceptable than it is anywhere else in the country.
Yep.
So let's be real about that. Yeah. We can go Julius Caesar, but let's take it to our recent history. The people, this country was built off of that. Not black men doing it, not everybody else doing it, but white men making it acceptable here, creating the narrative for what is acceptable for them to do. Not everybody else, because see, it's shined upon when everybody else is going to do it. When you do it, that's not okay. Because see, they have to be able to leave their secrecies in the dark. But when and that's what happened. When everybody issues became to the forefront and everybody issues came in like, you know what, this ain't really what America was. Because if you think about it, in the past 20 years, that's been a conversation. What is America's real history? We really need to know what America's true history was. And as soon as America's true history started to unveil, guess what happened? You know what? We're gay now. Mm-hmm. We're gay now. So guess what? Forget everything else now. Address us that way. And make sure you address us properly. Mm-hmm. And now what? Yeah, we're not even just, my name is not even just enough. You know what? Right. Pronouns now. Yeah. And I'm not against anybody. Like, guess what? If that's your life and that's what makes you feel comfortable, that's okay. Because I got things in my life that make me feel comfortable that other people may not agree with. I get that. But when you try to use that as a measure to combat other people's problems and the progression of other issues, that's where I stop the buck at. Because I've always been black. I'm not going to say you just decided to be gay, but that's been something that you've had to struggle with in your truth. My truth has always been that I've been black. That's just what it is.
Hey, so I got a quote I was just reading earlier. It was by Thomas Sowell. He says, "Freedom ultimately means the right of other people to do things that you do not approve of."
Right.
So
just pretty much what I just said. Yeah, right.
It's like, hey, if we're gonna talk about freedom, there's gonna be things that people do that you don't approve of. But whenever you get to like censoring and policing people's right to think and all those types of things, then it becomes a problem. Now we're seeing that problem rise to the surface. And I think ultimately, which I don't want to ruffle any feathers, but I think this is when socialism goes too far.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I was talking to a female. I was talking to a female about this, right? And she was saying, why are men not as aggressive as they used to be? And I said, well, if you think about it, if you look at the past 5 years, you look at the Me Too movement, you look at the things that men have seen come to the forefront as being unacceptable, and them being like, oh, snaps, I've probably done that before and got away with that. Or you look at when people talked about consent, because consent has been a huge topic over the past couple years. When people talk about what consent actually is, you've got guys that have been like, damn, I might have been in the gray area. So you now backpedal in your approach towards women because you don't want to be that guy. So you got a lot more guys trying not to be that guy.
Yeah.
And so that you push the pedal on the aggression, and that's when you say the line of socialism has probably gone too far. I'm not saying that, there is a line that you do not have to cross, but it is situational because we all know that, let's be real, some chicks like that stuff. They like the cross, the little step over the line, not the like that's they drive off the drill of adrenaline. So do people.
I mean, on my Twitter, I got a lot of women saying bring toxic masculinity back.
No,
what? Wait a minute.
No, but it's what I'm saying.
Absolutely not. They don't know me.
Because
I am the man.
They feel like it's been desensitized, so men can't be themselves anymore, and so now you have more of a sensitive type of male.
But I think,
than anything.
I think also with,
I think it's how they were raised.
Like, that's true too.
Because my husband was raised by his mom, and that's it. And my first husband, his family couldn't stand me because they would always say, "Oh, you think you're the man in the relationship?" No, that's not it. But if this is what he contributes and I bring this to the table, that makes a whole. Y'all the ones bringing it down on him. Listen, I'm okay with him not being some aggressive male. You know what I mean? I don't need my man to be the one who, and I'm okay with him having the first thought. I actually want my man to lead, but if he does not contribute that, I'm okay with that because he's being him and I'm going to be me and he allows that.
That's situational.
Yeah, but also I think
that's my situation.
As we go on, we see like we adapt to what can get. Like what can get us a mate?
Well, Bill Cosby thought he was just partying.
Yeah, and also
Bill Cosby thought he was just partying. And guess what?
Now
now his character has been torn to shreds. He'll never get his character back. Yeah, he may have been exonerated and he's out free right now, but they have torn that man's character. And he was in an era where he was just partying. That's what everybody did. And if you was a woman and you went to his room, you knew he was married because it wasn't a secret.
How many other white actors did it? Come on now, let's.
That's what I'm saying.
That's true.
So it's not like this was hidden behavior.
You mean Ted Danson ain't never had no? Come on, he was a beautiful white man. Stop.
But that's what I'm saying. Like Harvey Weinstein, like all these guys, like you see all this happening. You're seeing this happening to people with money. So you got regular dudes like me, like
you got the cameraman in the back.
They doing him like
exactly.
that.
I don't want no
parts.
I don't want no
we just
smoke.
Smoke some weed and I asked her to have a drink. And you feel me?
I just want to clarify something. I just want to clarify my comment on when socialism goes too far. So Nazi Germany stood for the German Socialist, I think the German Workers' Socialist Party. And we saw how controlling they were. You had to think the same way, you had to be indoctrinated, all those different things. And so I agree that some parts of socialism is good for the community, but then there's a part where when you get to like demonizing Dave Chappelle for his thoughts on something, and then you begin to try to censor him, counsel him, because you want him to think a certain way. And that's where I say socialism goes too far because, obviously America it was supposed to be built on freedom of speech.
But
hold on.
But I don't think socialism.
How far away from were we of Nazi Germany?
Well, socialism.
When Nazi Germany was doing what he doing, because let's be real. Like what form of equality did we have in America when Nazi Germany was doing what they were doing?
No, we didn't care. We didn't care what they were doing.
The only reason why we got in there is because they came at us.
They said if y'all don't be neutral, we gonna come over there. And then we was like, that's not gonna work for us.
No.
Yeah.
And so we didn't get into it because we said, see, that's the paint, that's the picture America paints.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they were doing people so wrong.
That we
the
came in
Holocaust.
champions. Yeah.
Oh my God, and we wanted to save people. And Anne Frank, she was up in the attic writing a diary and the whole fuck all that. Like, let's be real. Let's be real. Y'all was doing the same thing over here. Mm-hmm. You were oppressing people because they did not look like you, because they did not think like you, because they didn't buy into what your idea of America was. Yet, when somebody was across the water doing the same thing, they was doing the same thing, trying to build a mass race that could overtake the population to where they were at, so they had the most control. That's what Germany was trying to do in their attempt at socialism, right? And we just said, you know what? That we said that's wrong. We didn't say that that's wrong. Pearl Harbor happened, but in reality, Pearl Harbor happened. We said, oh well, we gotta go defend ourselves, and because we won, the victors write the history. Yeah, and since we won, we were able to say, you know what was going over there? We got over there. What was going over there was really, really bad. So I concentration camps, all that.
Yeah. And I think the difference is like our political system. Like you did have people in politics that were able to voice the opposition versus like Germany where it's like everybody needs to think the same. Yeah. Like right now you got drones, yeah. You know?
Yeah, and Germany was more about
their approach was just more direct.
There was an ethnic. They were like, look, y'all gonna think all the same, and you're gonna think these people, all of these same people are the same. The thing about that was different from America was
there wasn't gates around our concentration
exactly.
camps. We were all put in the same neighborhood.
And the thing about it was like there was no.
We weren't branded with numbers on us,
but it was.
We just couldn't get jobs.
But we were
to be able to.
Yeah, we were in communities in communities, or we were redlined. We were. We were done. Those things were done to us. But it was light. It was a light version. It was like Microsoft 7.5. It was like Microsoft 6.5, and Germany was like 7.5. It was like we almost was there, but
right.
But let's switch topics. We're gonna talk about this NFL.
Somebody already fuming off that topic.
Is it?
Somebody blew a fuse already, man.
I think
this is a perfect transition.
Well,
I mean, they all blend, as a matter of fact.
But there's two parts to this one because one, I want to get everybody's answer. Do you think the coach should have been fired for his emails that were from 2011? They were over a span of a few years.
So that's not the story, but that's cool.
No, they were.
But that's not the story.
No, I know, but they.
That's not why he got fired.
Why do you think he got fired? We know why. We know why he got fired.
I know why.
We know why he got fired.
That's not why he got fired, but no, the 2011 email is definitely not why he got fired.
No, I know that.
Was that blackmail?
No, it's way deeper than that.
Like,
I'm gonna get in. Oh, this is nasty. This is ugly. It's ugly, and it might be a firestorm coming.
So were they holding on to those emails?
I might be. You feel me? If we could get this out there, I might be onto something. Well, because and maybe ahead of something.
The emails were in a case with the Washington Washington Redskins.
Okay, yeah.
The emails were from that, so they were.
So that's why I'm about to let you know. See, regular people aren't see. The media is great. They love painting pictures, and that's exactly what they did to you. They got you looking at one thing, and it's smoke and mirrors. It's like misdirection because you're talking about one thing, and guess what? Nobody's talking about it no more because guess what we talking about? John Gruden. Mm-hmm. So all started. It's not both going on.
No, there's three parts that are still being talked about.
I'll go to you right now. You go on the internet and put up NFL emails, and I guarantee you, it's flooded with the name of John Gruden.
It is.
Besides the name of the Washington football team, you might find 4 stories that say the Washington football team, and you'll find 100 that say John Gruden in the emails because it's a misdirection. Now, what it is the Washington football team, we already know, they got culture issues. Yeah. They're being investigated because of culture issues. Yeah. It was actually a criminal investigation. Yeah. All right. In the midst of this criminal investigation, they uncovered that John Gruden had been emailing Brian Allen, who's in the front office of the Washington football team. Him and Brian Allen go back. Like, they go back. Like, I mean, the Raiders in his first stint, I mean, they're tight. He
said it like they go slavery back.
All right. Now, that's just to build a little context. Now, John Gruden has a rough relationship with Roger Goodell. Right? Roger Goodell's the commissioner of the NFL.
Yeah.
So, investigation in the Washington football team. They uncovered these emails with John Gruden. There's 650,000 emails. And you're telling me that you uncovered only one person's email. Now, what I'm going to say is what John Gruden did was not wrong, and he should have been uncovered. But what about all those other emails that you found? You're telling me that all these other people CC'd in this. They're talking about all these other people CC'd in this. Yeah. Not just NFL, but we're talking about sponsored people, being high up in these other companies. That's why it's been a big shitstorm. But they're all CC'd in this. We're talking about misogynistic, homophobic. We're talking about female cheerleaders being posted topless, being shared on this in email chain. We're talking about the commissioner being called a faggot. Them talking about Michael Sam being pressured. Yeah. There's obviously probably something in there about Colin Kaepernick, but I'm pretty sure that they can't bring that up because guess what? The Colin Kaepernick thing had been settled already, and they cannot bring in any discovery of any a conclusion against Colin Kaepernick or Eric Reed, right? And so
was Eric Reed's case? Did he file a suit too, or it was
a combined?
Okay.
It was a combined.
Okay. Well, because part of that was, that's what I was saying. That's why they settled with Colin so quick.
Of course,
because there was like
if they found out what would happen.
You got to go to Discovery. You got to
you got to reshape the NFL. What's going on right now is the protection of the shield. Yeah, because if we find out what these people are talking about in the shadow.
Yeah. Then it's half of the.
It's over.
Like 70%.
You got to reset the NFL.
70%.
You might have to get rid of you might have to get rid of owners.
Everything.
GMs.
Yep. I think
head coaches.
They're bringing the most money in the sports industry too.
Like, and you're right. It's the shield. It's not about an individual team. It's not about like basketball. They were like all the players are so no.
Yeah, of course. Because guess what? Donald Sterling, all his girlfriend had to do was record him saying some racist stuff, and they got him out of there.
And now with the NFL, but here's the thing with the NFL,
they work for the owners,
But
it's classic plantation.
So at what point? Go ahead.
Sorry. So would you say the coach is the sacrifice?
The coach was the sacrifice because see the thing is. So
even his owner didn't want to get rid of him.
Right.
No.
100%.
All right. So this is how you know. This is why I was trying to tell you. This is how you know. Friday, and this is how you know it's messy. This is how you know it's messy. Friday, one email comes out, just one, and that was about Demetri Smith, the black dude, vice president of the NFL Players Association. Comes out. DeBroshi Smith got lips the size of Michelin tires. Okay. Clearly racist, all right? Clearly racist. Clearly. They practice Friday. Get ready for the game Saturday. They play on Sunday. He coached the game.
What did he say? What he said.
After the game.
That's not my character.
Yeah. After the game. He says, before anybody, I know y'all want to ask me questions. Before anybody, I just want to address it. I said some things, yada yada yada. I just want you to know, I didn't really mean it like that. I meant rubber lips. I meant rubber lips. When I use the term rubber lips, and I looked this up, even in Urban Dictionary, was able to find it anywhere. He said, when I use the term rubber lips, I refer to somebody as being a liar. And that's what he used it as. And I didn't mean to. I apologize to yada yada yada. And didn't mean to hurt anybody. But if y'all mad about that, there were some other things that I said in some emails, like what I said about Commissioner Goodell, right? He dry snitched on himself. That's one thing he did. He just dry snitched on himself. But even in that, there was no reports of they were going to fire John Gruden. So it was like everybody. It's like the NFL sat back and said, "Oh snaps." Him talking about the black dude wasn't enough. Okay, well we got 6 years of we got 6 more years of emails. Okay. Bam! Well, he said this and he said that and he said this and he sent that and he sent this, and that's when you knew that he became the scapegoat for this whole investigation, because the investigation was about the Washington football team.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's just like how Trump became the scapegoat for racism.
Of course.
Yeah. But now you have it where the player association said, "Give us all the emails."
They want it.
They want it.
But what do you think is going to happen? We're talking about something that's been around for 101 years. They've only had one black vice president in the front office of all 31 teams, 32 teams in 101 years. This is the first 2 years you've seen in racism stenciled in the end zone.
Right.
And Black Lives Matter.
True.
And all that. What makes you guys think? What makes us think it's different in NASCAR?
True.
Or anything else? That it's a good old boys network.
Completely.
I mean, think about it. How many times have you even heard of a team changing ownership? No, So if it's been around for 101 years, right?
They still called the Redskins.
Yeah.
Right.
They
Exactly.
They just
Time out.
But
We were still called niggers.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We couldn't even use the bathroom with them.
Yeah.
Come
Still ain't
on,
got a
you
problem
seen
with
one
it.
night in Miami?
Yeah,
You seen one night in Miami? Have you seen that?
Yeah.
You seen how Jim Brown was treated by that white man when he
was like, "Don't come in." He
was a Pro Bowl running back.
He was a Pro
They
Bowl
still
running back.
fighting to say the word nigga.
Yeah.
I'm like, hold up, son.
Yeah.
He looked at Jim Brown and said, "You know, niggas ain't allowed in the house."
But to
Jim Brown.
your point with the Redskins, they changed their name because of so much pressure. But I was watching
They couldn't even pick another name. That's how stupid. They couldn't even pick another name. You know what? You know what that was? Straight defiance.
Yep.
That was defiance.
Yep.
You know what? Oh, you gonna take our name? Well, guess what? We're not gonna give you nothing else. We're gonna be the Washington football team.
And like I was watching a game with them one time, and the dude said Redskins. He said the Washington Redskins been. They haven't gotten a first down or whatever in like 2 innings or whatever. And the guy was like, and there wasn't a pause or anything like that. It just kept going. And then they were like, "Oh yeah, I forgot. I owe you $10 because
he said Redskins."
Because he said Redskins, and it just was like, that's just something common enough. Like how the NFL is just common verbiage. And just all that, like there was no real like, oh dang,
right? No real repercussions.
Yeah, like
how would y'all feel if they had a team called the Blackskins?
That was.
Well, let me tell you something. 70 to 80% of the league is black skin.
That's
So
what I'm
I'm saying,
saying.
you know what I'm saying? So, as long as it's all niggas on the team,
or
I'm probably
called
cool
us.
with it,
Right.
We just called them us.
I like that one.
You know what I mean?
This
And
is
then,
us.
and then you have a team called them, and it just be all white dudes. And you're like, it's us versus them.
That's what it's been.
Us versus them in the Super Bowl.
But I want to say on the other side of this though, you have people who were like, he shouldn't have been fired, and clearly it's like you're living in a bubble. But then I saw one thing where it was
let me play
like,
devil's advocate real quick.
no, I'm getting to that because there were people who were saying, well, technically with the who you guys picked for the Super Bowl halftime, you guys
No. That's not cool. Oh, that's not cool.
But
that's not cool for
no,
people to say that.
but what I'm
That's just like the stencil in the end zone.
But it's
we don't have Snoop Dogg and
No,
Dr. Dre.
no, that's-
all you do the halftime. Come on.
That's what I'm saying. But it's
He explaining what they said.
That's what I'm explaining what they're saying is they were saying like, you got those guys, you have Eminem, and they talked about all these things, they've done all these things, and I'm like, that's a distraction. Like that doesn't have anything to do with because the words they are saying, y'all been calling us behind the scenes too. So
For real.
So what? So you are upset that he might be rapping a song because lyrics are different than your power.
I'd rather y'all have Bruno Mars again. He looked like everybody in this month. Anyway, you feel me?
But I think it gets to the part where it's like, once again we're finding like once again, we're finding what we already know, and people are shocked. And I think a lot of people are just like.
But you got to realize, look at who's shocked. Because you got to think about it. The people who are shocked are the people who we moved the goalpost on. 20 years ago, John Gruden saying that wouldn't have been a problem. 15 years ago, wouldn't have been a problem. Dave Chappelle special, 15 years ago, no blowback.
No.
True.
Over time, because of socialism, people have gotten more sensitive, you know? And it's and this may be the most unpopular opinion, it may be our fault as black people. Because we're so proud, our fight is regardless on the progression that we get, we still fight it.
It looks,
you know,
it looks sexy. Our fight looks sexy to other people.
But we were raised different. Our parents used to talk worse than that to us.
I get
you know what I mean?
Like, I get that, but you start to see people see the little bit of progression that we get, and then they look at it and they're like, you know what, we can do better, and that's pretty much what everybody else's struggle, everybody else's topic, everybody else has done that. They took our struggle and enhanced it for their core progression.
They wouldn't have been cut for ranking contests.
I think also.
You know what I mean? Like, the way we come for each other in ranking battles and things like that, they wouldn't have been cut for that. The sensitivity level is heightened.
No.
We weren't even allowed to be sensitive, period.
I think one thing, you know, and I like Thomas Sowell a lot because he's not, the media won't dare challenge him, but you know, he talked. So listen to me real quick.
Go ahead.
So Thomas Sowell said, "There's no solutions. There's only trade-offs." Right?
There's no solution.
And so we wanted to be heard. We wanted our struggle to be heard, acknowledged, and repaired. You know what I'm saying? But we traded it off by voting for people that is using it against us. You know, and so that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing you saying is like, you know, it's partially our fault because we did vote these people in that are continuously, you know, using our struggle against us, using their struggle for their progression,
we do
and all those things.
legwork to have no power.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, we do all the legwork to have no power. Just think about it. Every year or every election cycle, I don't care what level you're talking about it on, if it be the local level, city, state, you know, country. You know, it's always somebody who don't look like us coming to us, asking us to give them the vote so they can carry the baton on our issues. Like, and you don't even know what our issues are. I'm sorry. You can't pick this up in a book, bro. And you can't get this at a TED Talk. This is an experience. And that's what people don't understand. I talk to my job about this a lot, is because I realize that people who don't look black don't understand it, and so they group everybody who look black together. And so there's people who look like me and you who don't speak a lick of English.
It's that melanin.
Yep.
You know, there's people who look like me and you who have no idea what it's like to be black in America.
Yeah.
Because they came here from another country. Now, not to say that their experience.
Segue.
Yeah, not to say that not to say their experience wasn't.
Segue.
Yeah, not to say that their experience wasn't as bad or was better or for worse. It's not about comparing experiences. But if you are not from America and you come here, your experience in America usually is better than that who was born on this soil. And so when I talk to people at work, I'll try to help them understand. You can't. You see African American, and I see African, and then I see American.
Yeah.
And I see the struggle that we have cannot be compared to the struggle that they have.
Right.
Because you look at helping them as with your savior complex. And
Right.
you look at us as the crybaby sibling that you don't want to give a hand up to. It's just like, and we all know this, how your parents wouldn't give you nothing. You ain't, you know, no good food when it was just y'all at home.
Yep.
There was no treats. Let some company come over. Company come over. Okay. Y'all getting the good food. Y'all can go out. They ordering pizza and stuff. They getting ice cream and everything.
Where does
it's
money
popcorn
come from?
for movie nights
Board
and everything.
games.
Like,
where does money come from?
You like, hey, your mom is different and everything like that. You like, what y'all?
You getting
you ain't
affection.
in trouble.
I know, right?
I ain't never got no hug before, Mom.
You're like, what's happening? And it's because company, you're going to treat the people from the outside coming in better than you treat the people who stay in your own house. Yep. And that's just a conditioned mindset. This is a conditioned mindset that we all come from. And so if that's the case, that's the same thing that we do in America when it comes to people, especially who claim refugee status. We give them the fast track to the American dream. But the people that have been oppressed here by America, it's like, hey, check this out, bro.
I think a part of that is like, we don't have, we all come from, different tribes in Africa and stuff like that, but we don't have like a centralized homeland behind us. Like, true. I think if America treated Asians like that,
if we did come from tribes of Africa,
you got. I mean, we got the Israelites, so we got all those different
slaves,
things. Yeah,
I mean,
we get to
slaves are slaves. Slaves are slaves.
That's
slaves.
That's another concept.
I know,
but like when you look at it though, like if America treated Chinese people like how they treated us.
Right.
China supports so much of America. Like we get so much of our goods from them. They get so much money off of them.
I don't know if that's support.
No, it's more than that. They in our banking industry.
Yeah.
Right.
They own some stuff over here.
I don't know if it's support. I feel like they doing it for their pockets. It's not them trying to, you know what I mean?
Because I just think that they wouldn't treat Japanese, Chinese, or anybody like that over here.
Where money's at.
You know what I'm saying?
They making money.
Yeah.
It's all about it.
And so I think that, they'll go to Africa and you will have different resources and stuff like that each individual leader would give up or whatever for their personal gain or whatever, if you look at the corruption or whatever. But I think that we don't have a centralized people behind us, since slavery.
Because we have a victimhood mindset. And I'll tell you, this is what I mean by that. We do everything that we can.
He told you. He going to have something for everything you spit out.
We do everything that we can to prove to them that we're just as good as them. So as oppressed as we have been, the black dollar goes so much into making us look like we got the white dollar.
Yep.
So from the clothes we buy to the cars we drive to all that, but we still be living on public housing. Yeah. And that's the thing.
That's real.
Like they were taught how to invest and how to accrue generational wealth. We were taught only to look like we had wealth.
How to consume more than we produce.
Oh,
we did produce a lot in slavery.
We produced a lot.
Yeah, but like now we consume more than we produce.
That was free labor for who?
Yeah.
Well, and then after during the Reconstruction, we did a lot, and then it was turned into, hey, we can't let them do that much. Like we can't let them. We can't let them, like within the 7 years of Reconstruction after slavery.
We did a little bit because if we did a lot, it would have been self-sufficient.
We did.
That's what I'm saying. When you say a lot, I say if we did a lot,
I'm saying
a lot goes a long way.
No, I'm saying we in the 7.
Well, we did a lot in Black Wall Street.
We did a lot. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we did a lot, right? But how easy was that to be torn down?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is we did a little bit because it was only. And so you talk about black. How many areas in America can you say there was a Black Wall Street operating during that time?
No, but what I'm saying is, Black Wall Street wasn't until the 1920s. I'm talking about I'm talking about after 1865. But the 7 years during Reconstruction after slavery, we did a ton. We had a ton of communities. It was after that they realized, hey, man. We can't let them do all these things. And after that was systematically tearing down places, doing massacres, the rights to vote, refusing the rights to vote, all these things.
We were just living happy. It wasn't like
it wasn't happy. But it was
we were living happy.
Yeah, we were happier because we were able to.
Happy. Yeah, we were living freer. It wasn't like and that's what the thing is. it wasn't that we had a ton of resources.
Yeah, it was like we were making.
So that's what I want. When you say the 7 years of Reconstruction, we did a lot. It's not like we accrued resources for us to be able to be self-sufficient. That's not a lot.
No, but we did. But we did enough.
No, we were living to be because that's what I'm saying. The mentality of a person coming out of that much oppression is like it was to breathe again.
True.
It was the time Reconstruction is more of this was the breathe again era.
Yeah.
Before you can go into Reconstruction, before we could even go into Reconstruction, they seen how dangerous that could be, and they tore that down. And that's why you have so many black people living in fear to this day.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why another Black Wall Street hasn't submerged or anything else, because we fear anytime we build something else, they're going to attack it.
Yeah, and also the problem with that happened with Black Wall Street was as it expanded, the area, the country expanded, as everything expanded, it got cheaper to do business outside. And those same black people over there, they didn't support what Black Wall Street was, because a lot of them didn't know what it was like 10 years later. It was like 10, 15 years later, and by then 10, 15, 20 years later, they had built roads and done all these things through those communities, and it was like
everything by that
we
way.
Can't, yeah,
by that, didn't travel that fast.
Yeah, and it's stuff. You think about you're talking about one generation, like 20 years. In one generation, knowledge, all these things can be dispersed, can be watered down, diluted, and can disappear. And then you're like, what was that thing we used to do?
Right.
Because we had it's stuff in your family.
Now we have the internet.
Exactly. It's stuff. Yeah. Exactly. It's stuff in your family that y'all used to do 20 years every single year, and then slowly but surely,
you can still figure out how to Superman that hoe. Like,
but we're gonna switch topics to one of the topics I was wanting to talk about, because I've been reading a few articles about it. Was like we all saw the immigration. Not immigration. I'm sorry. The Haitian refugees, and how they got to Texas. All of a sudden, they popped up in Texas, and how they were treated. How we saw the images of them being whipped by dudes on horses, and just all these things. And I wanted to talk about how, and get you guys' thoughts on how you feel immigrants, how we should treat immigrants, or versus how we do treat them, depending on where they come from.
I think
because we get a lot from Canada.
Yeah.
We get a lot from Mexico. We just recently we got a lot from Haiti.
Why are we treating them different, though? That's my question. I mean, I know we benefit from some of them, like they were saying, but it's like, let's be real. You know what I mean? So they're coming over for different reasons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They lost.
Super Walmart wouldn't be built in 2 weeks.
Shut your whole mouth right now.
I'm just saying.
So let
they
me
came
bring
over with a goal. But
they work.
Go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
Oh no, that's just what I'm saying. Like, I feel like they were okay with some of it because they knew that they would gain from it. You know what I mean? And that's not what it's supposed to be about. You know, those people came over with the same agenda, to get help, to get resources. You know?
I think one of the issues, this is where like my macro Federal Reserve monetary fiscal policy comes in and stuff, like, you know, from
These
my
big
podcast.
words. Go ahead, sir.
So
okay, Stephen X, man.
Okay.
So we tend to look at everything as free. You know, like we tend to look at everything as free. And what I mean by that is that somebody has to pay for the welfare that immigrants are going to receive, and that usually comes through tax dollars.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know, and so a lot of people are oppositional about it because they're like, okay, like, how are we going to pay for this? We already have 120 trillion off balance sheet liabilities with Social Security, pensions, and Medicare, and all this stuff that the government has promised people of the baby boomer generation and generations after. And so how are we going to pay for this? I mean, then you get to the whole, you know, we're not going to get reparations, but that's kind of that whole thing too. It's like, okay, how are we going to pay for this? We see like our dollar's losing value now because they printed so much of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's like, do we want to spend our tax dollars to support someone that's coming from somewhere else? I mean, I think that's the question.
But at the same time, that's not a.
But
sometimes it's not a balance of them coming and them being a burden to our systems completely. Like it's different if like
there's a process.
There is a process.
There's a process, and I think the process should be honored. But I don't think people should be getting whipped for trying to sneak into America.
Well, and I think our immigration system, because we've always been a land of immigrants, like that's always been known. But what hasn't been known is that now, like, you have to actually dig and realize what you have to do to get a green card, to become a documented immigrant, to get into the country. Like, the whole process is not just like, oh, come here, sign up, and then you can stay for a while.
Well, yeah, because if it was that easy, then everybody would be coming in, and it would be a convoluted situation.
Well, you do got asylum, though.
Think about it.
Asylum resources.
But think about it like I said. When the first people who came here, they were not your regular immigrants. They were crooks. They were murderers. They were homosexuals. They were all these things that society, well, now I guess, accepts, but at one point deemed inappropriate, right? They know what comes with immigration because they were the first immigrants. So it's structured and conditioned in their mind to be able to control immigration. So what we see, because anybody else that comes from any other cultural background wouldn't treat somebody immigrating like that.
Yeah.
What we see is people trying to pump fear in people to not even think about
accepting those.
They don't even think about it. America's not a great place.
Yep.
Even though we know if the world was a club, America's VIP.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. Everybody's trying to get in America. It's VIP, velvet rope, everything. It's bottle service all day. That's just what America is to the rest of the world. And then they get here and realize that VIP ain't cracked up with it.
Right.
And all the girls that sit VIP, they only
know?
came because you got the bottle. They ain't even like you. And that's just what it is, And so I think that, there should be a process, but there should also be a process for capturing people who are trying to illegally come in. You shouldn't be whipping them, and I don't think they should be shackled and chained.
Yeah.
And now if we create, and I'm like this, maybe we buy shuttle buses, and then you catch them at the border, and then you take them back so far to walking that it's just like And I mean, and guess what? If you continue to come back, you deserve to be in America. I don't lie. You deserve to be in America. If I continue to take you 100 miles out and you continue to come back time and time again, your dedication, we need you over here.
So I just want to
another super Walmart.
I just want to clarify. So like
Nebraska,
I'm not for how they're treating them.
Yeah,
I just think that there's still the fact that who's gonna pay for the services that they receive, all those different things. Like, so like when you look at how much money has been printed, how much value the dollar is lost, we look at cost of living going up, all those things.
I hear all that.
But
how's it going to be paid for?
But the cost, like a lot of times, one, they have family here already. Like if we're like let's say for instance,
Trump ain't gonna pay for it. He only paid $750 in taxes.
I know, but if you think about
definitely
like a Hispanic person coming through the southern border, let's say they cross, they get here. A lot of times, one, they've already got family here. A lot of times, two, they've already almost got a job because somebody's gonna say, "Hey, I can hook you up with a job." Three, they're not a okay.
Where they? I mean, let's be real on that, because let's see, all them jobs aren't. You feel me? Documented.
They're not the best. Right. They're not the best jobs. No, I'm not. I'm not saying
no.
That.
And they'll deport them. They'll deport them, but they won't hold them accountable. They won't hold big corporations accountable for hiring them.
They're not documented jobs. Because I'm gonna tell you like this. So do you know that the prison industry, some of the jobs that we see some of these undocumented immigrants do, that the prison industry has access to these jobs as well.
Yeah.
But because sometimes getting somebody in that situation is one thing for a prisoner. you can charge them pennies on the dollar,
25 cents an hour.
Yeah.
But when you have somebody that ain't supposed to be here and ain't got no work social, you have way more authority over them.
No. But what I'm saying is, as far as a cost on our system, like it's a myth that a lot of our tax dollars go towards services. Go towards helping people who are.
But that's why we're $28 trillion in debt.
A lot of our
we keep promising these things, and then we never repay back the debt.
Okay, so when we gonna when we gonna take away welfare?
Yeah, I mean that's.
I mean, because we paying for that too.
Yeah, and it's accumulating.
I'm saying
it's accumulating on the balance sheet.
Somebody right now getting a week check, paying for that. You feel me?
Yeah, it's accumulating on the balance sheet. I mean, we got $120 trillion off balance sheet liabilities.
Yeah.
Because politicians keep promising things, but you can't just print money out of thin air and expect it not to lose value.
True.
Yeah, I get that.
So like one of the things with like immigration, so like one of my friends, he's Hispanic, he works Border Patrol. He told me that there's a loophole within the law, especially in regards to asylum and all of that. You know, where you you have people that come, you know, and they say, hey, I need protection.
I'm from a country that's in trouble.
Corrupt
and then they have a court date, you know, all of that, and they don't go to the court date.
Yep.
And then they just chilling here.
They have to find them. Well, and I think with Obama, it didn't seem like with Obama versus Trump. Trump made it a forefront banner. We want all them people out. And it wasn't a separator. It was like, we want all them people out.
All them.
Was
Obama,
that the narrative painted, or was that what he said?
No, the criminal. He said they're rapists.
There's a lot of narratives painted.
But with
I was like, when he said it, I was like, damn.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But with Obama's was more of, if that dude's been, Obama was like, if that dude's been in the country for 20 years and he got a job, leave him alone.
Well,
but if they've been here 7 days, pick them up and take them back.
This shows you more of it doesn't matter until a white person says something.
Yeah, exactly. Because we had a ton of people who were ICE picking up people who had 30 years on the job.
And they want to cancel Dave Chappelle, but the president. Not only did he say, I just walk up and grab him in the cat.
Oh, my gosh.
But he literally called Mexicans drug addicts, criminals, and rapists.
Right.
This was his petition to build the wall.
Yeah. And they're still trying to build the wall.
And this was before he got elected. So,
what about the so they painted like the whole cages and everything, when a lot of that was built in Obama's era.
But it wasn't used like that. It wasn't used like that.
It wasn't meant for that.
What was it built for, though?
FEMA got multiple like family-sized caskets built for. I mean, one day they might be putting families in there.
What Trump's problem was that a lot of people knew those were already built. What Trump's problem was his messaging. If you are using a bullhorn for every other group, we don't want you here, we don't need you here, we want to kick you out. Like, okay, what is he doing with those people? Versus if you like, they were his administration, because it wasn't just him.
He did have a lot of Mexican people vote for him too.
Exactly, in the South, because they're Catholic.
And even in this last one, I was like, damn, they is coming out for him. And
they ready to go back.
His administration was.
I work at Trump Towers.
His administration was specifically brutal to them, to immigrants, and to people who were illegal, and was like, we're gonna we're gonna separate, and that's what they didn't need to separate the families. Unless the person was a criminal, they didn't need to separate the families because they could have kept them all. You were separating kids, moms giving birth, and you were separating them. And then when it comes to find out, when the stuff hits the fan,
a little bit like you feel me, plantations.
But ICE was coming through the hoods. ICE was coming through the hoods though. Last year.
ICE was like Debo, give me your chain. ICE was and then. to separate them and then be like, dang, like y'all really was cruel to them. Y'all need to go. And then the international community was like, hey, you got to put those families back. Mm-hmm. And then Trump was like, hey, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. And then
what I look like?
What I look like trying to find them. And like and the Biden administration was like, well, we're gonna try to find the families. It's hard to find somebody who you separated, who you don't even know where they were. You didn't even
care where you snatched them from.
They had no information.
I just listen to all this. I listen to all this, and if we had to talk, Obama would have been gone in the first 30 days if we didn't talk about any of this. You feel me? Like, he'd have been gone in the first 30 days. I mean, we're talking about a dude who had, not only did he grab him in the cat, and not only did, but I mean, we're talking about scandals, paid off women.
He came from that Bill Cosby era too.
For real,
yeah.
And he became president. Like, I'm literally thinking about throwing my hat in about 10 years.
Boy,
if he can do it.
Hey, Biden did some stuff too, though.
Biden has. I think Biden was like.
Check this out. Biden to me is the same thing Obama was to me. Obama was a pacifier to niggas. That's what I felt like. Obama was a pacifier to niggas. Oh, yeah, you guys think this is that bad? Okay, we're going to give you a half nigga, and you guys, that's a president right there. Boo-hoo, it's all over. Wipe your tears. You can never say we ain't did nothing for you.
It's like
right.
that. It's like that hug. That hug that people get. They're like, you're still in trouble, but I'm going to give you a hug, too. Like, that's what it is. Like, I'm not. Yeah.
Your mom just whooped you after the bath. And you,
oh, Lord.
And she's like, I know
one.
I told you up, but you still my baby. It hurts me more than it hurts you.
Yeah.
Like, no.
So I gotta get going.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
But I just wanted to say that none of my comments here today was a reflection of some of the boards I sit on and stuff, but it is my personal opinion on some things. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Well, I mean, technically, nobody can see you, so. I don't think nobody. I'll
make sure I'll tag you in it.
He gonna tag me. He
I'll
gonna
tag
give me
your comments.
everything.
Yeah, right.
I'll tag your comments.
It is what it is. This is what I feel.
In the morning, we're gonna be looking for them.
I don't even worry about it.
They're gonna have them already.
Cancel culture.
Yeah. Let's cancel culture. Cancel culture.
We're working on
Let's
it
do
right
it.
now. We're working on it right now.
All right, man.
Enjoy it. Whoop your ass.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna switch topics. We're gonna talk about these teachers and the TikTok challenge. Mm-hmm. The TikTok challenge is to see if they can slap a teacher, and it's stupid already.
Completely.
But you got kids trying it, and I think it's so like. At what point, like, do people try to limit? Because some people try to limit social media for their kids, but at what point does this directly speak to how you raise your kids?
Exactly, because it's disrespectful.
Yeah.
I mean, when did we make it okay? First of all, for students to be, we're trying to tell them, first of all, don't even put your hands on your peers. Mm-hmm. But now we're making it okay for them to run and slap the teacher in the back of the neck like it's their homie. Mm-hmm. That's not okay. That's so disrespectful. Yeah. They're not here to play games.
Yeah.
They already don't get paid enough. Mm-hmm. I mean, to be dealing with you, and then you're going to lie. Because like I said, I used to work for the school district, and children will say anything, to start a bigger story. Mm-hmm. I had children say that when I was school bus driving, that I drove them into a Jack in the Box and bought them all breakfast. That's why we were late for school. I said, sir, I don't even make that much. You know what I mean? Like, y'all have the audacity to believe these children. Come on now.
Yeah, I think that there should be an age limit on social media. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think that every child's social media should be connected to their parents' social media
agree.
account.
That's how mine
That's
work.
One. Two, I think that ever since the social media, especially this challenge stuff started happening, and I don't know what it is with kids, but they just want to die. I don't know what it is.
There's more stuff is acceptable.
No, I'm just saying, like, they had the Tide Pod challenge. And,
yeah.
I mean, like, anything that you can do that is, like, borderline death, like, they accept it as the crate challenge. Like,
choking to death on cinnamon. Like,
like as many people as I've seen fall. Like I've seen a couple people fall. I'm surprised they didn't break their neck. Or their back. Like how would? And it don't be for nothing but a couple likes or some views.
Right.
And even as much as $1,000, I'll tell you, $1,000 isn't enough for me to almost die. I'm just gonna tell you.
Not
and
today.
so I don't get it. I don't. We didn't have this issue when I personal experience. I was a kid who fought a couple teachers, and it wasn't off of no damn challenge. Like that's just what it wasn't off of no damn challenge. Like it was just cause. And it was a challenge, but it wasn't no social media challenge. I'll tell you that. And so that, but even then, like it was so unheard of. Like when I did it, people were like, "Are you crazy?" Right. And I was like, it was that unheard of, and I was just like, "Yeah, maybe I am," but I mean,
but they're fighting us. Like the teachers are our age. You know what I'm saying?
But it's different now because like when even in my situations, like one was probably a little bit overblown. It wasn't even really a fight. They said I pushed him. I didn't touch him. Another one, I did hit the teacher.
Allegedly.
I did hit the teacher, and it was only because I had my back turned to him, and he grabbed me from behind me. And so my, reaction was to swing. I didn't know who it was. And so that's what it was. But even then, it wasn't like we were going to school looking for this.
Yeah.
And that's what the difference is now. They're going to school looking for this. They're not, it's not like I feel disrespected right now and this is how I'm reacting. It's like pull the camera out and catch me doing this and maybe we can go viral. That's what this is, and it's toxic. It's toxic for kids to be in that environment. You know what? If a grown person wants to play with their life, if you want to play with your life like that, more power to you. But letting these kids play with their life like that, I don't think is a smart idea. And then they're gonna grow up to be the adults that run our country.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not gonna happen.
Our president is gonna be doing TikTok challenges one day.
Yeah.
Stop.
But it's just crazy that we've gotten to the point. And I do agree that social media should have an age limit. But if you think about it, they would be like, yeah, sure, but we want to like give them this drug early. Like we want to give them this drug early because like already once they get it like even a little bit, they're like, well, I gotta have social media. What are my life is going to be like in shambles if it's not like. And I don't think these social media companies.
That's why you can't bully nobody no more.
Yeah,
you used to could bully somebody. Like you used to could bully some. And I wasn't a bully. I actually was bullied. But I'm saying, you used to could bully somebody. And I actually think being bullied builds character. I actually think it builds character. Like, I am very confident in who I am, very secure in who I am, and I can fight because I got bullied.
You're an outrovert. Like, my 3 children are all introverts. And so even though I am the outrovert in the house, and so it would be me, I can't if somebody bullies them because they don't stick up for themselves. Now, my daughter will stick up for her brother who is older than her. But if you come for her, she's like withdrawn. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then I got to step up because this is what's not going to happen. You know what I mean? So it's
but
different.
there was always the person who stepped in for those who were being bullied. When it got to the point of the fact that even the bully is sensitive now. Like, yeah. And that's because of social media. Because everybody was able to say, you know what? I don't even have to be the person that I'm in public because that person frightens me. So I can just sit behind my screen and type what I really feel like. And people don't have the access to me to hurt me if they do feel a certain type of way about how. And that's where you see the toxicity of how people act nowadays. Like, if you think about it, and I look at this a lot in the black community. I was actually having a conversation with a female about this. She's like, well, I ain't there no good man. Well, do you realize that half of y'all date the bad man when you're growing up? Like, that they say you find a woman in her youth. Well, you spend half your youth running around with the trash boys, right?
Yeah.
Then you have a baby by them, right? You have multiple babies by them, right? And then you come to me, and then you expect me to be what he should have been back when you were chosen, right? And so that doesn't come from upbringing and how you were raised by your parents. That comes from media. The media is who put that guy out there. The media who made this guy acceptable. So now your psyche is like, I want that. I want that. I want that. Now if you look at how it's evolved into social media, now it's just, instead of us, we sit in front of a TV. Now they go on a cell phone.
Yeah.
And it's always, your cell phone is now geared towards everything that you press like on.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Now things come across your timeline, you don't even know where it come from. You like, I never seen nothing like that, but it's on your timeline now because you like something that was similar to it.
Yeah. Yep. That was, yeah, some guy, he was a programmer, he was saying, he was like, people, he was breaking it down. He was like, people always say, well, Google listens to me. That's how they know what I want, I like. He's like, do you know how many other data points that these companies and these tech companies and all these other brands, you know how many data points you touch that they collect? Mm-hmm. Like, he's like, they don't need to record what you say. We can, we can look at, and we can associate you with everything you're around, everything you like, but also you're.
I do think they be listening.
They be listening.
But there's a couple times I've had a conversation, and not even me myself. Never even searched it, never been in my algorithm. I'm sitting there talking to somebody, and they're like, oh, such and such and such and such. And I'll be like, oh, first word I put in. Just like right now. I've never looked up Lansing, Michigan ever in my life.
Right, and
you said it one time.
Immediately.
I put in Lansing. Teacher fight. Like,
that's how it is. I told my daughter, she was like, Mom, I need to find something for school. I was like, well, let's just talk about it a little bit longer. I said, watch when I put the first letter in what pulls up. And exactly happened. She was like, that's creepy. I said, because they're listening.
We got microphones.
But but they don't have to, because all of the other things, like I gotta find the thread.
But that's your device. Only your device.
Your device, yeah, your device, yeah. Because also
Siri can record what you telling
her. No, that's the thing, and all the stuff that is connected. So he broke it down. He was like, even without he said this. He said he went to somebody's house, and they don't really have much, like, as far as tech wise. He said, but he was taught. They were saying how the ingredients they needed, and he was like. He broke it down to what companies, the devices, like who buys who buys the data, who buys the data, and who they shoot it to, and all this thing. He made about 15 connections, and he was like, look, even if he was like, they probably can record. He was like, but even if they didn't, all these things connected to stuff that you liked. All these things connected to stuff that you liked, and it was spooky because
what makes it even easier to hide.
Yeah, exactly, because I don't think that me wanting, like, if I want pizza, like, I'm not thinking nothing about it. But if I keep seeing advertisements or keep seeing whatever, and if somebody's like, hey, I cooked pizza the other night, next thing you know, I got coupons in my email and all these things, it's like, okay, like, I guess I'm gonna get pizza. But with the kids, as far as social media with the kids, I don't think they would never want to limit them off of there, because it's like, we got our built-in audience who we have to build up. We progressed with social media.
Okay, all right, I'll tell you this. I'll put it to you like this. If somebody told you that they would give you $200,000. If somebody told you they give you $200,000 a month for the rest of your life, would you take it?
Depends on what they
for.
Yeah.
What is it for?
You say that now, so that check is in front of you, right?
No, because you might have to kill a couple people.
No, I'm just saying.
Sleep with that.
All right, put it this way. Somebody pay you $200,000 a month, and you have to do nothing for the money, would you take it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what if the way they made that money
Yeah.
was maybe morally,
Will I go to jail behind it?
You possibly wouldn't,
But they could.
Well,
if
they
could.
run me
They
my
could.
money. They was gonna do it anyway. No, I'm sorry.
but see, and I mean that's my point. I mean that's the point that I'm making is that Facebook is not, or social media is not going to stop with the traffic that they get, because they get paid off for the clicks.
Yeah.
They get paid off of every time you open your phone. They get paid off the duration of the time your phone is involved in it.
Well, then they also need to prepare those children for whoever they think they're about to put hands on, because they're going to get hands back.
But that's what I'm saying. What we're asking is for somebody who created something that he had no idea that it was going to reach the pinnacle that it's reached, to figure out how it works.
Yeah.
He just was like, I see something I can monetize off of, boom. He didn't think about how it was going. He didn't think about in 2002, because I mean that's when they were going through the whole thing. It didn't become public till 2006, and so I mean it was a college thing before that. So so we say 2002, 2003. He didn't say in 2002, 2003 this was going to be a platform that was going to be used worldwide.
Yeah.
That was going to change the trajectory of how people live their lives.
That was,
and everything
that
like
people
that.
are going to be able to make their livelihood off of
They
it.
made the first edition of Tinder. That's what.
Yeah,
it
that's
really
what it was. Yeah, because they were judging women on the campus.
Exactly, based on how they
look.
Smash or pass.
Yep.
Wow.
That was the original edition of Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Mark Zuckerberg's first project working on. He seen that and was like, you know what?
You lying?
No,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know that.
And so then
And
he
it's-
seen that and was like, oh, this is actually pretty clever, because what it did was it was able for different colleges
Yep.
to be able to share that information through the interface, but it was only college based. And so he was like, man, you got all these people connecting through all these different colleges. We can make it bigger than what it is. So he made it a social network platform for colleges.
Yep.
So it was just, at first,
I remember
it was only for college students. You had to be affiliated with a college
You did, yep.
to have Facebook. And so that's how I found out about it.
Yep.
Because I had some friends that went to SU, and I was on MySpace,
Yeah.
and they was
Exactly.
they're like,
Exactly.
oh, Facebook is popping. I'm like, Facebook? And they're like, yeah, Facebook
Yeah.
is popping.
Yep.
I'm like,
Yep.
Facebook?
They
I'm
were-
like, well, this MySpace over here popping. I'm like, how
I
you
was
get a
headed to my
Facebook?
10-year class reunion.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, how you get a Facebook? You got to go to college. And
Yep.
in 2002, 2006, they
switched.
made it public.
They made it public. Yeah,
You know?
I remember that.
And once that happened, it changed, because MySpace was simple. Mm-hmm. You choose some music, put a little artwork up on your page.
And you was good to
You
go.
know, it was cool. You talk to people every now and then, but it wasn't nothing major. Facebook became a whole different beast, and I think that it came and nobody knew what it was or how to handle it. And before we even knew what it was or how to handle it, it became like this uncontrollable monster.
Yeah, because now they're facing regulation and antitrust, because when Facebook went down, if you think of, like, they were saying that, like, because Facebook owns Instagram,
Some people probably committed suicide that day.
it was people who couldn't work. And it was like and it was also people who couldn't communicate, because they also own WhatsApp, and WhatsApp is one of the main ways people in different countries can talk to one another without having to pay.
That's true.
Without it costing anything. And so you couldn't talk to your family.
Orders,
Yeah, exactly. You couldn't talk to people. And with
get your hair
Instagram,
orders in, nothing.
With Instagram, you have people
They make money off of the platform.
make
Right.
like $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 every month just off the
You just shut
platform.
it down for the day.
Yeah, it wasn't even. It was like 6 hours. You had people freaking out.
Everybody was freaking out. I ain't even gonna lie. I thought I got blocked. I was like, what I do? I'm like, did I do something for me in Facebook jail? I was like, hold on, that's crazy. And I went to
I missed
Instagram,
it.
and I was like,
Huh?
I missed it. I
Really?
didn't even know when it shut down.
Yeah, I wouldn't-
shut down.
It was.
I don't know, a couple weeks ago.
It was last Monday. I think it was last Monday.
It was crazy because I didn't. It was one of those things that had never happened before. So you're just like,
yeah,
what the heck is going on? And so for me, I was like, because I remember I went there and I was like, why is the top of my feed still the same? And I was like, dang, I was like, I have had a couple rants on here lately. You feel me? In a couple rooms or whatever. Maybe I got Facebook jail. And so I went to my little thing and I was like, no, they ain't got me in Facebook jail. And I was like, I don't know. Maybe it's my phone service. You know?
I did that because I refreshed it like 3 times, and then I was like, okay. Then I went to Google, and I was like, Facebook outage, and it was like, oh yeah, it had all these articles, and I was like, okay, good. I didn't even
go that far. I'm still troubleshooting. I'm like, did we pay the Wi-Fi bill? Like,
wow.
So I'm like, the Wi-Fi connected. Sometimes when the Wi-Fi ain't working,
right.
I'm like, dang, maybe the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Hey, my airplane mode.
I know. That's
what. I'm like, dang, my Xbox is on right now. It's connected to Xbox Live.
He's trying to make it make sense.
Going through all of this, I'm just like, this don't make no sense. And then I think I was able to see, because for some reason some people were still able to post.
Yeah,
and so I seen like somebody's story, and it was like, oh, I know all y'all going crazy with this Facebook shutdown. I was like, oh, snap, Facebook shut down. And I was actually able to relax after that. I didn't care about it being shut down. I just didn't want to be in Facebook jail.
Because I think some people's didn't shut down right away, and they were able to post like 1 or 2 things in the morning before it got shut down. Yeah. But you had people freaking out. Everybody went to Twitter. Everybody realized some people realized they needed a Twitter as well. Because Twitter, at one point, Twitter was like, Twitter was like, hey, hello everyone on the planet, because that's where everybody went to. Everybody went to Twitter because they couldn't go on Instagram, they couldn't go on Facebook, and the other platforms aren't as big. So Twitter was like, hey, hello everybody, how's everybody doing this morning? And it's like people are so.
Turk just name dropped this other streaming platform. It's called BGO or something like that. Saying he was making he was making mad money off of there.
What is it?
I don't know. He was just talking about it. He was talking about it because he has little issues or whatever. Talking about he said something in the Vlad interview that went viral or something like that. So I mean, he was just talking about how he make his money now and stuff like that. Some streaming platform or whatever called BGR or something like. I don't know. I gotta watch the interview again, but he was talking about something.
There's a couple more, and like they pay people a little bit more.
Yeah,
but it's crazy. Yeah,
dating sites are streaming services now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah, and they pay people to stream on data sites now.
What?
Yep, and they also
POF.
They also
tagged.
Shout out to POF. Thank you for helping me find my husband.
All that, but no, they pay people to stream now.
And
so you like, there's people on there that don't go on there for, because POF was meant for dating. It's no longer that for no more.
Really?
I mean,
it got so toxic. People don't go on there. Yeah,
people go on there for streaming because.
I won then.
And it's
you got in there early.
Well, because part of it also,
it was like when the stock was good, you got in there and dropped. You sold your shares before. You feel me?
It's
sold your shares for a drop.
It's a good spot to for them as far as advertisers, because that's what they want it for. Like, it's good for them they advertise different things on it, and it can connect to other things. Because it's like, hey, how about we have this advertisement for this restaurant? Y'all could go on a date to this restaurant, or on this y'all could do this app. Here's an app for a vacation, and like the whole social media is to sell us ads.
Yeah, I was gonna try to find me a little boo thing, but I was like, I can't do it like this. This is toxic. I can't do it like this.
Okay, they selling her hopes and dreams. Like, your first date gonna be like this with him.
Yeah,
that's what. Social media.
They selling me hopes and dreams.
They do. They really do.
I don't want nobody hopes or dreams.
And they say you angles because you like. That's not you. I saw somebody recently who was on that. I was just like, that's not you.
Oh, the catfish game is real. And I mean, with the Snapchat, It was like they can Snapchat, they can catfish it to your face now. Like, you know, what?
Even on the live, yeah, because you can edit your face in real time on live.
What? They can contour it and all that. Like, I'm like, what? I seen a chick showing me. She literally showed me what filter she used for what. She's like, oh, if I got any blemishes in my skin, I use this one. Oh, acne, I use this one. Yep. Like, what? Y'all got is a mathematic science to this?
And as long as you're not moving too fast,
you don't notice it.
You don't notice it in the camera. The camera doesn't pick it up. The algorithm that they're using for that face for that filter will adapt. So as long as you're not doing like this and all this stuff,
I'm starting to feel like social media like promotes catfishing.
It does.
I don't know if it promotes catfishing.
What are you talking about? Every time. All right, so at first it was, Facebook and all that.
We know you guys are expecting when you see us. And if I came in here without my makeup, y'all are cool with it. But you prefer to see something and be like, oh, okay.
No.
She look like her photo.
No. I prefer to see something the way it is naturally because, and this is me. It's funny because
wait. You prefer it, but then when y'all be clowning,
because I'm on my little date tip right now.
No,
I'm on my date tip right now, so I'll be letting people know. I'd rather see somebody in like I just hung out with this girl the other day, and I was like, I was like, hey, we're hanging out. I was like, hey, you know what, Chase out. I'm in my pajamas. I'm not really trying to, get dressed. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
You was excited. Pajamas sound like close to bed.
Or close to getting up. I was actually just woke up. But I'm like, I'm not, we could, have coffee, but I'm really not trying to, get up and be ready or whatever. And she was like, well, I'm really not either. You feel me?
Lowered expectations.
No, so all I was saying was that's cool, but in my mind I'm like, well, that's perfect because if you meet somebody in their natural state, if I'm rocking with you in your natural state, I mean, it's a bonus when you put on the makeup and you do all that extra stuff or whatever. Because
for some women, this is natural state to us. Because when I grew up, my mama would be like, "Baby, you don't leave the house without your makeup on." So
some men, it's the opposite because what it is become the shock factor. Is because we get you then and we see you all dolled up, so it's harder for us to appreciate you in your natural state because we got you in the dolled up version.
But if you prefer undolled up, it shouldn't matter if you got us dolled up or not if you're saying you preferred undolled.
And not in reality because the dolled version is different from the natural version a lot of times. So for some women it's night and day.
True.
That's true. So, I mean, Tyra Banks looked like a raccoon without all the makeup.
I don't like you.
Yeah, some do.
It can be.
Some do. So
that's what I'm saying, like.
But I think also we kind of like as in general, we're guys
also poisoned
by
because TV women.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we're expecting.
I do it all the time. I'm hella superficial.
Yeah,
and I know it. And I'm doing. And turns out when I be doing it, I'll be like, damn it, TV. Because I know exactly what it is. You fucking, that's why I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this girl, and the only reason I am looking at her and I am turned on by this woman right now is because of what you showed me through the waves.
That's because they got us feeling like less than. I got a booty, okay, and I'm still telling my baby, I think I might need to do something. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And why?
Because it looked like social media makes people, you could
sound crazy to other people.
You can pick out every point in your life and edit and cut and chop it. Like I seen, there's a woman on my Facebook who she was bigger. She got surgery. Mm-hmm. She didn't put the surgery on her page. She didn't put the surgery on her page. It just was like a month or two, and then she was like she was small, way smaller, and so. But she had been saying that she had been going to the gym,
but no, you got surgery. Now you just keeping up the surgery.
Yeah, and we were like, hold up, because she started to say, I hate people who say they can't do the work or whatever. And me and this other girl was like,
okay, that's different because I myself had weight loss surgery, but
you weren't.
I never posted it. But I also did not make it seem like all of that came. I let them know that this was, it's a struggle.
Yes.
Because it's more than just a physical struggle. It's mental. Because I told my husband, when you make my plate after having surgery, you can only eat a child's portion.
Yeah,
but he'll bring me a regular portion.
Yep.
So I sat at the table crying because you're used to being able to wax with everybody else. I didn't get fat because I thought I didn't like food. I love food. And to have me not be able to finish this food, it's a struggle mentally. So when girls get on there, I understand what you're saying.
And physically, you can kill yourself.
You can, because you can overeat more than you're supposed to eat. You know, so going to the gym is the second part, and maintaining is the second part. But mentally preparing yourself for that is more than a notion. Okay, I struggle with it daily.
And and only reason I'm gonna speak on this is because I haven't personally experienced this because I've been a toothpick my whole goddamn life. but you know, my mother and my aunt were bigger women their whole life, and so they both battled it. My mother got gastric bypass. My aunt, she did Weight Watchers, you know, and I seen the difference. My mom, she never was completely happy, you know. And I think in a lot of it was probably the maintenance afterwards.
It is maintenance.
Because, you know, the body may change, but the mentality takes more work.
You still want that steak.
Yeah.
You still want that.
Work,
I still want that burger.
And that's a lot of her problem was what she ate. Because her diet had to change, she didn't 100% like change her diet, so she would be getting sick a lot, you know, like it would happen a lot. And so, but my aunt seemed a little bit more fulfilled in her journey because it was, you know, she did it all natural. She, you know, it was her diet. So instead of changing the size of her stomach, she just mentally changed.
No, she shrank her stomach.
No, and
but
that's what
by
I'm saying.
her portion control.
Exactly. No, that's what I'm saying. Instead of physically doing it that way, she mentally did it. So she got rid of the mental big girl in her before society.
But that's not easy. That's just like
no. That's what I'm saying. But that's why I can say I seen a difference in it. Because one is
she was proud of herself. She was going to keep that.
Well, one is different. One is getting rid of the physical before the mental, and one is getting rid of the mental before the physical. And that's what I seen in it. Is because my mom got rid of the physical attribute before she got rid of the mental attribute. But my aunt was able to work through the mental attribute. By the time she got the physical attribute, it was already there. So it's natural to her now. Like, she's been the same. This happened probably, how long have I lived out here? Almost 2000,
like I was saying, it's almost like a crackhead
so
being
like
addicted to crack.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like, I don't know if I'll ever get completely over the mental aspect of it. Because, you know, that's just how I was raised. My mom's from the South. She cooked with butter. My mother asked my daughter, and my mother's, she's smaller, but she asked my daughter to bring her some oatmeal. Strawberry oatmeal, so you know it's pre-sweetened. She said, and also bring me 7 packs of Splenda. I said, good Jesus. My daughter said, Grandma, this is a diabetic oatmeal. You know, so it's like you're pre-programmed to stuff like that. You know, so mentally being raised like that, and now all of a sudden one day I have to now change, switch up the code. It's not that easy. You know, I wish I could say it was, because everybody in my family is skinny. I'm the only plus size girl in my siblings of 5.
I was
you know
the
what
opposite.
I mean?
I was the only skinny person in my family.
And I had to love me, and none of them, and I love them all dearly, but none of them are as confident as I am. And they all wish they had that confidence. But I was like, well, shoot, I had to be. I didn't have no other choice but to love me, because y'all over here getting love from everybody else.
So that's the opposite with me, because I was the smaller one in a bigger family, and they were all confident people. And so
they would talk about you. Would they talk about you?
You know, it wasn't even really. You would get little slick stuff like you need to put some, meat on your bones and all that, and you know. And then there was points where people were like, made jokes, said that gain weight, and all that, and it was a rough. I think it was rough for me because I even dating, it was rough for me because I had a quality that I liked, and it didn't reflect my household.
Oh.
So everybody in my household was bigger, but the women that I brought home were, and I was an athlete. So, I didn't bring home bigger women. And so it was like,
oh, they were going to come for you.
You know, it was kind of like weird, and you know, it would be awkward sometimes. But then when my mom had the weight loss, it was like it was different because you know, big girls they were always like, you know, skinny chick this, skinny chick that. You know, they always had the skinny girl joke. Yeah. I thought it was funny. I used to think it was hilarious. But then they became skinny chicks, and they didn't have the skinny chick jokes no more because then it was like they would be talking about themselves, and it was like so. But then there wasn't big girl jokes, so it was like this weird, rare area. You know, it was like, and I didn't know like I had to be confident in who I was because you know I didn't. Yeah. Like I had to be like I like what I like, and that's just what it is. It has nothing to do. I love my mom. I love my aunt. I love all those people, and I have nothing against that. You know, people are people.
But I think you have to, and then you throw in social media in that,
and that hurt me. That's what I said.
That didn't hurt me. My daddy told me I ain't never look hungry. It didn't matter what size I was or what size I lost. You don't look hungry. You know. So this is what I was used to. I mean,
but that was my brother. Like. He was a bigger dude. They, you know, we would go to McDonald's and I get a Happy Meal and they would get him a number one. You feel me? Because this is what it was. Like, he was a bigger dude than me. And they're like, he ain't finna be hungry. He finna be so hungry out that Happy Meal.
What got up?
You're like, I need a Big Mac. You feel me? And real talk.
Supersized him, huh?
Real talk. It's real talk. And that's how they fed us. Like, it was what it was.
Yeah, because I mean, well, now you got people who are like when they're on social media, they're like, I have to look like this certain look, and then some of them accept them bodies for themselves, but even that is even some people fall into that trap of I accept you got to accept my body for what it is, but it's almost like the non-denominational trap of like we're non-denominational to a point of where our denomination is we're non-denominational. Exactly. So like I'm so body positive that it's only like I'm body positive to the nth degree, and it's like, and then people should accept whatever they accept with me. And it's like,
all right, here go. I got another unpopular opinion. I'm just going to be my last one.
Have you ever been popular?
Never, not really. Okay, this is my last one today, though. I don't lie. Big girls sometimes treat skinny people like gay people treat straight people. And this is what I'm going to say like this.
That's not I don't think that's unpopular. That's not. I don't think that's unpopular because a lot of people notice it.
Because I realized this. Like, all right, how do I say this? I get advances a lot, like advances.
Oh, you that one?
I get advances a lot, and so I say no a lot, but I can't always say why I say no. Now, a chick can straight up call me ugly, busted and disgusted. But if I tell her that I'm not into her because of that aspect, all of a sudden, I'm a basher. I can't say you, I can't say that you, no, big girl bashers is a thing.
No, I believe it. I just feel like everybody got a type. I may
everybody
not be
does have. Everybody does have a type, and that's my thing. Is that I had got comfortable with women telling me that I'm not theirs. Mm-hmm. I'm fine with that. You tell me I'm not the type. That's cool. Let's get that out the way then. Fry. I honestly think if I ain't your type, you like girls. So I'm saying.
You know what, sir?
If you don't like me, you like girls.
It's the same way,
I'm saying like that,
you tell a dude, you're not my type, he like F you then B. You know what I mean? You know, it don't matter what your size was. Me personally, I understand because I do not find skinny women attractive. If I was to ever date a woman, she would have to have a little thickness to her.
Oh, she can't be skinny. She gotta have some meat. I'm not saying skinny. I'm skinny enough.
I ain't Monique. I ain't gonna come for you like
that. I'm skinny enough for myself. We can't be. It's not a Twix bar. It's not. We're not walking around the same size around here. It ain't Twix bar. I'm saying, the hips don't lie.
But I like left and right Twix.
I like the little curvy to the word.
But I just read something that said that what is it? Is it Twix or Kit Kat? No, it's Twix. It's Kit Kat. What's inside the Kit Kat is broken up Kit Kats.
Really?
Yeah. Side note, that was just crazy. But
It's a Trey's thing.
but no, you're right. You're right to a point that, like, you can't say, like, being honest with that. Like, some people are cruel with it.
Yeah. You
And,
can face shame me.
Yeah,
I can't body shame you.
Yeah, I can't say why I'm not attracted to you.
You ugly ass.
Yeah. And that's not how it should be. It should be like, hey, I'm not attracted to you. Like, I'm not being rude to you.
Yeah.
I'm not being rude to you. Me being rude to you would be try to string you along and be like, well,
you want to be all aggressive and be all on my line, like, whatever. And I'm just trying to be nice and say, hey, you might want to redirect that energy somewhere else. This is not it.
Exactly.
It's not the place to direct
and
that energy.
I think it should be able to be said both ways.
Definitely.
Without, like, somebody saying, oh, well, you're this type of person. Like, no, I'm just an honest person of what I just like.
No, they suspect because you're a man with a penis that you're going to want it because she got a vagina. That's what they expect. Like, no, it don't work this way. We are all not horny just thinking about vagina all day. That's just not what it is.
60. No, I'm joking.
No.
I mean, it's like
probably about
67%.
67%.
But
I don't say that I don't think about it. But it's not like there's not a day that I do not think about it.
Yeah.
But it's not 100%.
As you get older, as we've
too.
gotten older, we're like, that's not the only thing that keep you.
No.
And it's not the only thing that should keep you.
Because it dries up.
It won't.
Yeah.
And it starts blowing out powder.
I hate it.
And when that happens, there's not
when
enough
the
lube
dust
in the world.
particles show up,
Yes.
then you have to depart from dying, huh?
Well, you see how all the older dudes get them younger chicks. But see, that's not what I'm saying.
dang.
I'm saying it has to be built off something more than that because when you busted, dusted, and disgusted, I got to like something else about you.
Absolutely.
And the same way, too. But
Yeah, you see the old people sitting on the porch with each other? Obviously, it's something about each other that makes them want to sit there with that person because they're all scrubbled and scrunched up, wrinkled up, and you're not, I mean, unless old people have found out the trick to be able to, in their mind, be able to see that person as a youngster the whole time you're looking at them.
Or maybe they both feel like they're both unattractive and nobody else is going to want to.
I never thought about that. Do they have an image of their younger selves?
Oh, my mother tells me all the time, even though she's beautiful, she's like, I'm getting old, ain't nobody going to want me, and da-da-da. I'm like, Ma, you don't look old. Like, stop. Like, but that's how they start to feel because life is programmed to think that if they don't look like their former self, their youthful self, then they're not sexy anymore. They don't have sex appeal.
I got a dude that I went to high school with, and I don't want to say his mom's name. I don't want to say his name because I don't want to reveal his mama, but she's 60.
Is that Miss Parker?
She can still get it.
Is that Miss Parker?
And you tell you what's
Miss
even
Parker.
funny about this? This is what even more funny about you saying that, right? Because we grew up, we used to call her Miss Parker.
Oh, no.
But at one point, I don't even know if I can really say this because it will
Okay, he
reveal
will
her.
find you.
Well, he already knows this. This was a real thing. It was a real thing. His mom was that fine, so she at one point, because his mom and his dad split up, she had married this dude, and she started dating this dude. His last name was Mr. Parker, and so we used to call her Miss Parker for a minute. You feel
Wow.
me? He was like, hey, Miss Parker. You know, and it was because she knew. I mean, it was like she was a bunch of little
who she was
boys,
working
little honey
with.
boy. Oh, she put.
Go
Who
ahead.
almost said her name? She was
Boy.
fine, too.
There was a
That's how fine she was too. We used to say her name all the time.
Yeah, there was a few back in the day, guys, and the ones that was always mad because their mom, like, it's like, hey man, your mom is fine. Like, your mom is young and fine, and then I seen their mom recently on Facebook. I was like, she didn't lose anything really. Mm-hmm. She just got older, but she really didn't lose anything.
But my mom was conditioned to look. So my mom, she's from Tennessee. She worked for a newspaper company, and when Martin Luther King came in town, even though she didn't work for the department or the location that would interview, they asked her to interview because he liked young, beautiful women, and so he knew that
he was a Slooey Thooey.
He knew that she would be able to keep his attention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Get
she's
down.
used to having that beauty, and she's
With
like,
the
no, I'm not there
anointing.
anymore. Right? Okay. Because she looked like Beyonce in her form. I was like, Mama, you didn't give us this. You didn't give it to us, You supposed to pass down.
She ain't never
I look like my daddy.
She ain't never gave dirt on no MLK. Cause I know he had more than. I know he had some wet dreams. He had just a regular dream. He had some wet dreams.
He's stupid. He had a dream. Like,
That's so horrible. We're gonna end on that. We're gonna end on that note. I'm gonna say that later on. Like you didn't just have no. That's just what my head you say. Tell him about the dream, Martin.
I'll put my John Cruise. I said worse stuff than that.
all right.
You know what I mean?
Just keep listening.
Watch the episode about the chicken and waffles egg Benedict.
Yeah.
You feel me? That was pretty groundbreaking.
It's been the Black Pew podcast. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.